Doing Meyer here with Salty Pete. We're back at it again.
Salty Pete eats unsalted peanuts.
That's the ironic part.
Almost broke my tooth. Just got to say that. But anyway, we're back talking about prison. This time it's not really a Q&A. I'm just going to tell you a story. And I just got to talk, like...
Wait, I got it. I got a question for you. Tell me a story. That's not a question.
Great setup.
Yep.
The best, some would say.
Do you have a story for me?
Prison related?
Yes.
Excellent. No, yeah, man. I got to tell you about
this. I
like
how you didn't even answer it. You just said excellent.
I don't give a fuck at this point.
You're just like, shut up. Let me tell my tale.
The fuck up, you ass. No, man. I'm really actually excited to tell you this tale because I don't think I've told you this one before. Which shocks me if I haven't. But I may have. And if I have, don't tell me because it'll throw me off the rails. But the point is, I may have not. And, I've met a wide swath and variety of people in prison. Some complete garbage. Some, I like how the sleeping really communicates how boring this is. But anyway, some complete assholes and some really good people. Some strange people. All kinds, But I've never told you, I think, about the coolest person I met in prison. And I didn't even really meet him. I just kind of was around him, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know his name. That's how much I didn't know him. But of course I knew of him because he lived in the same cell I did. And this isn't really prison, so I'm kind of doing a cheat. This was a county jail. Okay? And in another of the videos I mentioned how... well, just in general, in prison and jail, there's a racial thing going on. But at the jail where I was waiting to go to prison at, there was a particular section of that jail where black people were not generally allowed to be. In fact, it was a black section of the prison, basically, where they stuck most of the black people in because people were very intolerant of the amount of noise that would come with that. It sounds racist, but you gotta understand that's just how it is in prison. We're really noisy. So that stereotype followed them wherever they went. So whenever a black person would come into this particular portion of the prison, they would be like on probation, as they called it. They would be, you're on probation. If you fail, we're gonna kick you out. Well, the particular pod where I was staying, or dorm where I was staying, had 3 black folk at that time, right? And we've mentioned them in the other story. And that was Memphis, old school, and Memphis's shitty teleporting friend.
Yep.
Anyway, and they had passed probationary period, and they were allowed to stay in the dorm because they weren't annoying and abrasive as the other people thought they could be, right? Anyway, then one day we get a new inmate in the dorm. And, okay, you got to understand how this is set up. So there's a big dining area with the tables that guy shit all over. And then the dorms behind here, right? Well, over there is the entranceway. And it's this huge metal door that's, mechanized, hydraulic door. And it's just really slow opening. It goes really noisy. For like 10 hours. And then... And again when it closes, it's this big, loud, messy affair. So whenever somebody would come into the dorm, everybody would know, no matter where they were in the dorm, because of that fucking door, right? So everybody would gather and look to see who was coming in, like fucking pelicans, I was gonna say, but groundhogs makes more sense. So anyway, one day we're all just chilling out, hanging,
Pelicans,
relaxing, all cool, shooting some b-ball
inside
the prison. But anyway. When this door sound...
That's where the rhyme fails.
Yeah. This door fucking opened, right? And everybody turns, like pelicans apparently, and looks towards the door. And there is this black guy standing there, right? And he's got to be like maybe mid-40s. He was maybe older because black don't crack. But he was an older gentleman is what I'm saying here, right? And he's got like this military style crew cut, and he's got this really rigid stance, like fucking robotic almost.
And he goes.
He might as well have, because that's how, you know, that he was just really stoic, kind of like a blank, featureless face. You know, he never smiled, he never frowned. He was just was. He was a being outside of time and space. Anyway, he had a few things in his property, and his sleeping mat. They give you a sleeping mat, but if you have property, that means you've been in the jail already and you got moved. So everybody's already like, why does he have property? That means he's not new, and that means he got kicked out of somewhere, which means he's probably trouble. So everybody's like, definitely going on probation. Snoofing? Now. Yeah. So just by luck, he happens to be in my room. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool. Because I, too, was subject to those, you know, kind of stereotyping situations where I was like, oh, man, this could be bad. You know, it could be bad. If he's been kicked out from somewhere, could be bad. But anyway, he gets put in a zipper kind of broke. But anyway, he gets put into my particular room, which had 8 beds. And there's only one empty bed, and that's a top bed on one of the bunks. So he goes in there real rigid like. And they have to pop the doors for you. The guards do. So he goes up. They haven't popped the doors yet. He presses the button. And they're like, yeah. Doesn't say fucking shit. Just stands there. And then they pop the door for him. And I'm like, the fuck? Anyway, everybody's looking at this, by the way. He goes in. He slings his mat on top. Literally fucking bowling balls his property into his locker. Then jumps on top. Gets into what I can best describe an Indian sitting position, and just sits there.
You did tell me about this. Yeah.
Okay, good. He sits there and just stares, because there's a huge window looking into the room.
Yeah.
He just stares out into the room. Not at anybody, because that would be bad business. He's just staring. Again, no features on his face. He's just blank. And everybody's like, the fuck is this? So anyway, this is another thing that happens in prison. If you're a Mexican guy and you go into a dorm, all the Mexicans will come up and be like, hey, what's up? Where are you coming from? What you here for? They check you out. Same with the white guys. Same with the black guys. So the black guys, they're like, oh, there's a new black guy in the dorm. Let's go check him out. So they come into the dorm before the doors close, or the door closes for him. And they're like, hey, man, what's up? What's going on? What's good? In the hood. That's what they say.
All right.
They didn't say that
they
part.
They become Transformers robots?
Yeah, because, I mean, yeah, basically. Michael Bay directed their dialogue. But anyway, they come in and they're like, hey, man, what's good? Where you coming from? Etc., right?
You want to go chill and shoot some b-ball outside of the school?
This dude did not want to just shoot b-ball.
Oh, man.
He did not answer them at all. He just continued staring ahead to the point. Now, we've established how bad Memphis was and how shitty his friend was, to the point where these guys just gave up and they walked out. They didn't go, what the fuck's wrong with you? Nothing.
But was this before he got his ass beat?
Yeah, but he was always an asshole, so it doesn't matter. They didn't confront him about it. They were just like, the fuck? And they walked out, closed the door behind them, and the guy just sat there all day, all night. He would go to sleep, but he wouldn't cover it. It's cold in fucking county where I was at. He wouldn't cover himself. He would just lay back all stiff like a fucking dead man on his bunk. Probably shivering inside, but nary an expression on his face. And by this point, dude, I'm fucking fascinated with this guy. I'm like, what the fuck is this up with this dude, right? And I like to stay in the I'm a kind of a homebody. And, well, prisons, there's no home except for where you're at, your little bunk area. So I had, like, front row tickets to this guy. You know, I would just sit in my bunk, read, and secretly be watching him like, man, what the fuck? And his daily routine was basically the same. He would get up, he would hop down, he would wash his face, hop back up, and sit in the Indian position for fucking ever. And that's it. He would very rarely go to the restroom. I saw him shower only once, but we'll talk about that right now. And there's only 3 times a day when you're required to leave your dorm, at least by the authorities. And that is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So he would hop down, line up like the rest of us, get his plate, go to the table, put his plate down, go stand up by the wall and wait for the doors to pop.
What?
Wouldn't eat. I only saw him eat a few times. And if he did eat, he would eat an orange
How's
he
he
would
alive?
he would eat a little lettuce, basically the vegetation or fruit is what he would eat, and that's it. And then he would push his tray to the middle, let everybody pick at it like fucking vultures, and then go and stand and wait for the doors to pop. And he would go back in there and either sleep or sit in his fucking Indian position, which was becoming increasingly the lotus position because fuck. But anyway, this went on for about a week, and I'm just fucking fascinated. Then we notice how he showers. Me and this friend named Psycho, we notice how he showers. Now, you don't look at people in the shower, but since the showers are open, you kind of begin to notice, oh, look, that's his shower technique or whatever, right? Because it's right there. But anyway, it's just one of those things you had to mention. Like, the fuck, look at this guy. So this is how he would shower. He would go in, and then the showers are not like, you can't just open a faucet and it just continues. You have to press a little button, and it has like 10-second spurts at most. He would go in there, press the button, press the button, press the button, no soap, no hand lathering, nothing. Then dry himself, go back in. Now, remember I told you about the popping doors? They wouldn't do that, but every hour. He would go up to the door, press the button, guard would be like, what? And if I went up to that door and pressed the button and like, hey, can I get in the dorm? No, you gotta wait for the hour. This guy, press the button, what? Says nothing, pop the door for him.
What?
He gets in, hops back on, Indian position. Fascinated by this fucking guy, right? So anyway, about a week and a half passes, and the black dudes up here I guess they decided to go a second run, right? And they go into the room and they're trying to talk to this guy, and he's just not listening. Doesn't answer any of their questions, doesn't look at them. But now they're stuck in the room because the fucking door's closed for an hour, right? And so they sit on the bottom bunk and they're talking among themselves. And now they've gotten to the point where they're pissed at this guy because he don't talk to them. So now they're being loud, abrasive. They're saying shit on the sly, clearly taking some jabs at him. And on top of that, they're farting super loud.
You didn't have to. We all know what a fart is.
Well, I mean, you got to get the feel of these farts. Yeah, they were being obnoxious on purpose. Then this guy does the most perplexing fucking thing I've seen in my life. He's sitting up there in his fucking Indian position, right? And dude, I can't explain it to this fucking day, right? So I'm looking at this whole situation. It's not even bothering me that they're being loud and obnoxious because I'm so fascinated by the non-response of this guy up here. And he's just standing there staring straight ahead. But then, for the first time, I see something of a reaction on his face. And he's kind of like making these grimaces, and he goes, he's not pleased with the farting situation. Then he does this.
The flip?
Twice. And then goes back to just staring. And I'm like,
what is this guy?
What the fuck is that? This guy has reached like legendary status in my mind, right? I'm like, what? Now I've made a story up for him in my head at this point.
You have their own lore.
Yeah, like he's like a blaxploitation character, like beyond badass guy who has all this like secret mystique street level cred. He's been arrested and he doesn't want to fuck with anybody, but the moment they do, he's gonna Bruce Lee on them or some shit.
He got arrested for something like he saved someone's life or some shit.
This is the story I've created for this man, but really I don't know jack shit about him. But anyway, he does that fucking shit and I'm like, my mind is fucking blown. I'm like, what the fuck did I just see? Anyway, this happens, right? And these guys leave impotent in their rage that they didn't affect this guy one bit. Anyway, one day, like this is about a month later, and this is just, it's now routine. This guy just does this. And I'm kind of used to it by then, but I'm still fascinated. But anyway, everybody, and I mean everybody, Mexicans, white guys, black guys, except for him, are watching a Michael Jackson tribute on one of the Mexican stations. Because if somebody's going to unite the world, it's Mickey J.
Yep.
And I guess it was the anniversary.
He's a pretty smooth criminal, I must say.
I gotta say, he is. Yeah. Literally. But anyway.
I beat it to him one time. It was bad.
That is the worst thing you have said. But anyway,
I was just trying to make little puns. And,
fucking failed.
wasn't good.
But anyway,
It was bad.
yeah, for some reason they were playing this fucking Michael Jackson special.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was the anniversary of his death or some shit. I don't know. But the point is, he croaked and they were playing it. But anyway, and everybody's just gathered around the TV, and the TV's like up here. You know, it's far out of reach, kind of, unless you're tall. So everybody's literally craning their necks, looking up at this TV.
Like
Huddled.
pelicans.
Yeah, like pelicans. Huddled around it, right? Standing room only here. And anyway, we're all looking at this. Everybody's fascinated by the MJ. When we hear the door pop. Again, it's not the hour, and there's only one door popping, and it's the door to where I live. And standing there in the doorway, pushing it open, is that guy. The myth himself, the legend. And he comes out, closes the door behind him, and dude, it was like an 80s flick. Fucking people parted like the Red Sea as he walked through the crowd up to right under the television. And he's looking up at the TV, right? Michael Jackson is playing his heart out on the TV. Beat It, if you got to know which one. Then he starts stomping his little foot.
Little foot.
To the fucking beat. And then he starts bobbing his head to the beat. And everybody is not even caring about Michael Jackson anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, fucking shit, this dude is actually doing something. And he's got this hard ass look on his face, like
it's like Judge Dredd freaking
like it's like it's hurting him.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck? And you know, the little spot that cleared out for him is now like a circle, sort of, you know, and everybody's like, what? What's going on here? Anyway, Memphis and his friend, who of course had tried to annoy him with the farts and stuff, decide this is their time to seal the deal on him being a complete asshole. I mean, on them being complete assholes towards him. So they start, you know, making fun of him, right? He doesn't even care. He's going. And then, dude, all of a fucking sudden, like, I don't even know how the hell this transition happened, but he went from the little foot stomp and the little head bob to all of a sudden he's like, I mean, he wasn't breakdancing, but he was doing this weird Michael Jackson meets karate moves type of fucking thing.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And he's doing like these in the air twists and turns and kicks.
Hell?
And we're like, what? Well, Memphis and his friend are still making fun of him, right? And I'm 100% sure that this dude did this on purpose, because as they make fun of him, he does this like kind of turnaround super kick, and his shoe just went by their faces. And they're like, hey man, what the fuck? Then he stops and does it again the other way. Now they get pissed. And they charge at him.
Damn, dude, I'm imagining this in my head with like epic zooms and shit. Little blaxploitation music.
That's the only way this would have been any cooler, because fuck. Anyway, they get so pissed that he did this that they charge him, right? It was like, you know when Jean-Claude Van Damme pins people down in movies and he's like, like he cements his superiority over them? That's what this fucking guy did. He just grabbed them and boom, boom, boom on the ground. Boom, 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 the other guy on the ground. And then he stands up and looks around at all of us, goes up to the room, presses the button, says nothing. The door pops open. He walks in. He grabs his shit, ties it off, grabs his mat, goes up to the door, presses the button again. The door opens. He steps into the waiting area, turns around and looks at us as the door closes.
Who is this guy?
Dude, I was like, what the fuck? Coolest fucking guy ever, right? But the story doesn't end there.
Good, because I want to know.
Eventually, I left prison, right? Now I'm I'm sorry. Eventually, I left county jail. When I was in county, they called me Hollywood. That was my nickname there. Well, anyway, when I got to prison, my first prison, I was shot off after a month from that prison to my transfer unit, or to my more stable transfer unit. And I was in the waiting area there. And whenever you're coming to a new unit, they just make you wait in these cages until they file you off to where you're supposed to go. Well, anyway, once I was established in that unit, I became a janitor. And every morning I would have to go to the transfer area to get janitorial supplies. Well, anyway, I go to the transfer area, and they're like, "Come on in," because we can't hand. They usually would hand them out this window. Come on in. So I go in, and there's all these new people waiting in cages for, to be allotted in their respective dorms. And I'm waiting for the fucking... God damn it, this is cool. I mean, it's so fucking cool, dude. He's the coolest guy ever. But anyway,
he's so cool.
Check this out.
I want to be him. He's so cool.
Even though he's probably in prison still.
It's alright, he's cool.
Check this out. I'm waiting for my fucking supplies, right? And I hear Hollywood. And I'm like, huh? Who the fuck knows me here, right? Especially as Hollywood.
Yeah.
That wasn't my nickname in prison. It was space in prison. So I'm like, huh? And I mean, there's tons of Hollywoods in prison, so I was like, it can't be me, right? But I turn eventually, and in the cage, there was like 3 cages. In the cage behind me, let me describe this cage. They're tiny, okay? Tiny cages that they make you wait in, and they stuff them to the brim.
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking 14 people in a tiny-ass cage. And there's a toilet, which takes up a lot of space, and like 2 benches to sit on. And if you get a seat, good for you. If you don't, you're just standing around like an idiot, right? Okay, well, here's the toilet, and here's the 2 benches, right? Everybody is standing up. Some people are sitting on, or one person is sitting on the toilet, but everybody is standing up, and they're all in one corner of the room. Sitting in the middle of one of the 2 benches is that fucking guy. Just staring straight ahead. And I'm like, holy shit. I actually went, holy shit. And went like that with my hand. And all he did was go. That's it. He nodded in acknowledgement.
Who is this guy, dude?
And I'm like, and I kind of do like a Brendan Fraser point. I'm like,
yeah, you do.
What the fuck? And I went home after I got home, quote unquote, thinking, holy shit, what the fuck did he do to these people? Dude, they were all crunched to one corner, man. And he was just sitting there staring, triumphant. And I was like, holy crap, coolest guy I've ever seen. Coolest fucking dude.
I want to know why he was there. I want to know his name. I'm assuming it's Shaft. Maybe Truck Turner. I want to know why he's there. I want to know his name. I want to know if and when he was a blaxploitation character. And I want to hear the theme that plays in his head.
He has to be thinking something, and what with all that staring and such.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's just thinking of a theme.
Oh yeah.
Namely Shaft.
Yep.
I don't know, man, but that was the coolest motherfucker. I don't know his name to this day, but he sure as hell knew mine, or at least my nickname.
You never asked him anything?
No, because he literally looked like someone I didn't want to fuck with. He didn't look angry. It's just, I was like, it was kind of like if you meet someone that you're in awe of,
yeah, you're
kind of at a loss of words. And I was definitely in awe of this character of a person. I was like, what the fuck is this guy?
How the hell did he command the doors open and shit?
I don't know, man. I can't. I mean, he didn't command them. He pressed a button, but nobody would get the fucking door open for them at their whim. But he would, apparently. Baddest asses fucking guy I've ever met. And I don't even know what the fuck he's in there for. I don't even care what he's in there for. Fuck. I don't even know if he's in there. I don't know nothing. All I know is he's cool.
I want to think that he's so cool that he voluntarily went to prison
to clear house.
So he's so badass that he found himself to be a danger to humanity because of how cool he is. And he's like, I have to go to prison. It's the only thing that can contain my awesomeness.
He should be the person they based Brawl on Cell Block 99.
Yeah, no shit!
Whatever it was, this guy was cool. But anyway, that's my story about the coolest guy I ever met.
Yeah.
In prison or otherwise. What do you think about that?
We need to find this guy. We need to do it like a documentary.
I don't know anything about him.
We need to do like a documentary on this guy.
I literally know nothing about him, and, that's it. Fuck. But anyway, it's been Ahab and the Goontick. Who's the coolest person you've met ever? That's mine. Beat that.
Yeah.
Point is, we're out. Hit like, share, subscribe, and those notifications, because we're out of here.
Who is this guy?
Fucking coolest dude ever, dude.